Hello everyone, and welcome to Earth Archives. If you've noticed yourself wanting to socialize less, enjoying being alone more, and even wondering if you've become cold, I really hope you watch this video till the end. If you want, you can also give it a like or subscribe, because what comes next might help you shed a lot of guilt you never needed to carry.
Let me ask you a question first. Have you ever had that moment when you suddenly realize that it's not that you dislike people, but that you've seen through them?
Many people, when they hear this, will initially resist, because we're taught from a young age that being able to read people, get along, and navigate social situations is a virtue.
Exactly. But no one really talks about the other side, that moment when you finally see people's true faces. It doesn't happen suddenly or as a lightning bolt of insight. It seeps into your awareness gradually, starting with one friend who always brings drama into every relationship, or that person who seems charming and warm, but whom you repeatedly hear speaking ill of you behind your back.
At first, we make excuses for them.
Yes. You tell yourself they're just having a bad day, they mean no harm, they're not really a bad person, because you want to believe in human goodness. But gradually, those little details accumulate. The red flags become impossible to ignore. Their masks start to slip, their performances get sloppy. The traces of manipulation become chillingly clear. And once you see it, you can never go back to that comfortable ignorance.
It really feels like waking up.
Exactly. Like walking out of a dark theater, your eyes slowly adjusting to the light. At first, it's harsh, uncomfortable, even tempting to turn back. But once the world becomes clear, there's no going back. This is also the real reason many people start choosing solitude.
But society doesn't tell you that.
Society tells you to understand others, build connections, nurture relationships. But when you actually start observing, really seeing people, what you get isn't closeness. It's an instinct to pull back. And the cruel part is, others will make you think the problem is you, that you're cold, difficult, or antisocial. But the truth is, you're just starting to see how human nature really operates.
Can you give an example?
Imagine meeting someone new. At first, they seem perfect, funny, charming, sincere. You think you've finally met a real person. But then you notice they rapidly shift personas depending on who they're with. One face for the boss, another for subordinates. Warmth for those they want to please, indifference for those they deem worthless. You're not seeing character. You're seeing a frighteningly smooth personality performance.
And you'll notice they often say, "I'm just joking."
Exactly. They hug friends, smile when saying goodbye, and then quietly dismantle that person's reputation. It's not occasional complaining. It's strategic undermining. And there's the fake vulnerability seeking validation. Did I look bad today? Really waiting for you to fill the gap. If you don't play along with their insecurity script, that vulnerability immediately turns into resentment.
Even helping others comes with a price.
When you help someone, you're actually creating emotional debt. Behind every act of kindness hides an unspoken expectation to be repaid in the future. This is when you start to understand what Jung meant by the persona. And the truly harsh truth is, once you see through the persona, you no longer see the person, you only see the role.
That's why socializing starts to feel so exhausting.
Because you're no longer just hearing words, you're seeing motives. You notice the insecurity behind self-promotion, the fear behind aggression, the control behind excessive kindness. You realize many people don't really want to grow, they just want someone to act alongside them.
That's also why small talk starts to feel so empty.
You begin timing your social scripts perfectly. 30 seconds in the elevator, 5 minutes at the coffee machine, 2 hours at a party. All rehearsed performances. When someone asks, "How have you been?" you know they don't really want an answer. They just need the process to go smoothly.
And then you start distrusting relationships.
Not because you're cynical, but because you see the exchanges. Remember when I helped you move? That turns into leverage to control you later. Care becomes a form of demand. Companionship becomes a transaction. This is why those who see human nature clearly often choose solitude, not because they dislike people, but because they refuse to participate in fake connections.
But setting boundaries doesn't make the world happy.
They'll say you've changed, that you're difficult, selfish, cold. Because you no longer provide emotional labor, no longer play along, no longer take the supporting role. And when you stop performing, the whole system feels uncomfortable.
That's when you realize a lot of love is conditional.
Partners love the version of you from the honeymoon phase. Family loves the version that doesn't challenge their values. Friends love the version that gives them energy. The moment you stop performing, so-called unconditional love disappears.
Betrayal even becomes predictable.
Because the pattern never changes. People always protect themselves first. When you become inconvenient, you get sacrificed. The real killer of trust isn't any single betrayal. It's realizing that the whole script was written from the start.
And the most ironic part is, when you stop playing along, they get angry.
Because you're no longer fueling the stage. You stop pretending, stop agreeing, stop participating in gossip. Your authenticity becomes a mirror. And most people hate mirrors.
That's when solitude starts to appear.
But it's not punishment, it's liberation. One night, while everyone else is busy with performance-driven socializing, you sit alone. For the first time, you aren't being drained. Silence is no longer empty, it's full.
Full of what?
Peace, possibility, a complete sense of self. You suddenly realize that solitude isn't a refuge for losers. It's the freedom gained by those who see the true nature of relationships.
Many people are actually drained emotionally.
Exactly. Emotional energy is limited, and most people only come to take it. When you stop being a free, emotional first aid station, they say you've changed, but really, you're just starting to protect yourself.
What is true solitude, really?
It's not being alone. It's when you are authentic, and the people around you cannot handle your truth. You want to talk about meaning, fear, growth. They only want comfort.
So you step back.
You stop trying to save those who don't want to wake up. You stop maintaining relationships just to uphold masks. Society says solitude is scary, but the real danger is losing yourself within relationships.
So do those who see through others inevitably end up alone?
No, they move toward freedom. Freedom to connect only with those who can bear the real you. Freedom to stop betraying yourself just to be accepted.
If, as you listen, you realize you're on this path, remember, you're not being cold, you're awake.
If this video has made you feel understood, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's doubting themselves. Your awakening is not a mistake, it's a form of strength.